Hey everyone, my name's Trey, and I figured this was the perfect video to start off my new YouTube channel. If this gets to one person who may help them, then I think that's worth it. Kind of a big thing growing up for me was trying to figure out who I am and what that meant to me. It's not as easy as a lot of people make it seem today. At least it wasn't then. I'm 31 years old, and it's kind of crazy. I never thought I'd be sitting here doing this today. In high school, I guess would be a good place to start. In high school, in all reality, it was not easy. I was convincing myself, or trying to, that who I am today wasn't true. Well, you can't convince yourself to be someone you're not. It was that time to come to terms with it myself. I did everything I could to convince myself otherwise. High school, was I kept myself busy, to be honest. I was in pretty much everything: student council, honor society, marching band, jazz band. The list goes on and on and on. And so if I kept myself busy, I didn't have to deal with the distractions of coming to terms with this, that I was different than everyone else at my school. It's just so horrible what kids go through, and I can only imagine now how tough it is for the younger kids to go through it. But going into college was when I kind of came to terms with it and said, okay, this is who I am. It was really tough living at home, still kind of battling with it, and then I came to the point where I moved away from home. I moved because I was trying to, again, convince myself, no, this isn't who I am. It's not whether it was right or wrong, it was just I didn't fit that category, that stereotype, that description of what a gay male is. It was just, I didn't grow up around anyone like that. I didn't know what it was, what that meant, who I was. Like, it didn't match. It was weird. So I moved away, and but nothing changed. It's not a matter of sexual attraction necessarily. Everyone bases it off of that. I mean, seriously, people need to grow up. You don't marry, husbands don't marry their wives, and wives don't marry their husbands solely off of sex. Sorry, that's not how it works. It's that love, that, oh, well, you ask someone, hey, how did you know they were the one? And they always tell you, you just know. That doesn't mean you really enjoyed their sexual relations, or it also doesn't mean you didn't find them attractive, but that's not what it was about. And I can't stress enough that people just don't get it these days. That's not what it's about. Sure, it might have a little bit, but that's not it. So if you can get over that point, the world's going to be a lot better place. Anyways, moving forward, I had a huge issue at work one day where my boss found out. He hacked into my phone. I don't know how that happened. I guess it was something I was never really worried about. But anyway, I got confronted about it. It was a horrifying experience. The most horrifying experience I've ever gone through. I was terrified for my life. Never really threatened me, but that doesn't mean anything. When you grow up that many years of being terrified of being ostracized from society, from everything you do, I had nowhere to go. I wasn't making a lot of money, and it was a very difficult time in my life that a lot of people don't know about, that I would not wish upon anyone. Nobody. It was a really bad experience for me, and so I know where a lot of people are coming from, where it's like, what do I do? Where do I turn? Thankfully, some people, it didn't get out. Nobody knew but me and my boss, supposedly. I don't know about that conversation, but I denied it to the end. Did everything I could to convince him. Went on blind dates with the boss's friends. That worked out awful. It just wasn't worth it. I did everything I could to hide it. And then it got to the point where it wasn't me trying to convince myself, it became trying to convince other people. And honestly, that's worse. I mean, it's really difficult. But I I made it through it, and that's kind of a big thing I tell everyone is you know, there are people out there, and I felt so alone. It's a horrible feeling, and I can't even begin to describe it. So anyway, started to branch out and become who I was. You know, the person I was in high school. I was really successful. I pushed myself to limits, and I was really excited about that, to do that. And so I started going out of town, again, keeping myself busy. Went on trips. I would hide from my friends, though. My friends who I didn't want to lose my friends. So we'd go to Las Vegas, for example, and we'd all go gambling and do our thing, and that's when I would go to the bars. You know, there was a gay bar on the strip, and I'd go and see what it was all about. I thought, wow, these people are happy. They're not miserable like I am. And I wasn't miserable because I was gay. I was miserable because I couldn't be gay. It's a lot that people don't understand, is being gay is not a miserable thing. Gay people are pretty happy. That's the word, I guess. And that started to really help, was being around people who understood me. Maybe they had similar things in common. Gay doesn't mean you look a certain way. It doesn't mean you act a certain way. And it's really, really hard to get that through people's minds, because all they think about is what you do at night, per se. Who your partners are. That's none of their business. You know, get to know me for who I am. I decided to finally come out to my friends, my closest friends, and it was large in part because they had kind of been hinting. I think they kind of figured me out. My friends Ash and Lorenda were a huge help, and looking back at it now, it's kind of funny, because they were very supportive. You know, Lorenda would always tell me, I don't care who you are, and she'd always throw in little things like, it doesn't matter if you ever were, it wouldn't matter to me, because I went through a lot, and she was there to see a lot of it. I told them all over the computer, of course, because I lived in a different town than they did, and I came down and visited on weekends, and it was really tough. I was in tears for hours while I was typing. But it was a good thing. It felt so good to tell someone who I am. I mean, I was 20 some odd years old, and I was barely telling someone who I am. You know, I didn't have to hide anymore, and it was the greatest feeling in the world. I mean, just like water running down me. It felt so good. But that was only 2 friends, and I had to grow from there. Shortly thereafter, I came out to a friend of mine named Monty, and this is important as well because I worked with Monty. So it was really cool because I asked him, I said, dude, how long have you known? That was how I told him, was, you know, how long have you known? And his response was the coolest response ever. And it was a simple text that wrote back, said, since the day I met you. And I was like, wow, really, 7 years, never said a word. So I asked him, how come, why didn't you ask? Because you, me, everybody else watching this is probably like, why don't you say something? And he said, I knew that you'd come out when you were ready, that it didn't change who you were, that you're still my friend, it didn't matter, and he's one of the best friends I've ever had, and that meant a lot to me. My life was turning around, and it was getting positive, and it really has. The family was a little bit different. I had a tough time with my family, not so much them, but me. You know, these are the people you've been around your whole life. They know everything about you, and you have to tell them something you know it's going to hurt them. And it's tough. It's real tough. Wow, it's harder than I thought. But my dad, or let's start with my mom. My mom found out through my brothers, who lived with her at the time, and my little brother found out on Facebook. I thought I was being sly, but I wasn't. And he asked me, he called me and asked me, and I told him, yeah, I am. And my youngest brother. And he was really cool about it. It wasn't always that way. He had to struggle with it as well, which is understandable. It took me that long. It wasn't easy for him. But anyway, he didn't know what to do because he was younger and he didn't know what to do. So he asked, you know, several family members, I don't know what to do. Should I ask him? That's how everybody else found out. Was, well, he just wanted to know what to do, and he told me he wanted to be there for me, which was awesome. I was lucky at that point in time for that. My family's been pretty cool about it. I know that they don't all agree, and they don't have to. You know, for someone who doesn't agree, their response is pretty damn cool. I am very thankful for them. My cousins, two of them, Jason and Kevin, they're awesome. They've always been my friends growing up, kind of like big brothers, and they were there when I needed someone to talk to. It was pretty cool. My mom took it pretty hard. I guess she kind of knew coming into it she said she had her thoughts about it, and you know, a lot of people don't know what she'd said, and of course my mom's very religious, and I understand that, and I am too, just in different ways, I guess. She told me that she, you know, I'll always be her son, that she'd never turn me away, that I'm always welcome in her home, and that's the best thing you can hear from someone you thought would be the worst. I was terrified more than anything, and she was awesome. And things aren't the same. They're not, but they'll get better every day. It was a lot harder a couple years ago, and it's gotten so much better. My mom is awesome. She's the best mom there is, and she taught us to be who we are. So, whew, that was the hard part. So my dad, my sisters on the other side, because I have a split family. My parents were divorced when I was young, remarried and such. So I just have a really big family. My dad is the greatest dad in the world. He's taught me all the important things about growing up, but this one is something we haven't talked about, to be honest. So it's I know he knows. My sister told him, and she's like, it came up in conversation. We all knew. Dad didn't. I think he knew too. So we'll see how that goes, but nothing's changed between me and my dad. I did want to kind of go over a few questions that people have really asked. First one is, how long have I known? Well, I have known, like I said, I came to terms with it in college, but I've probably known since about second grade. I can go that far back with thinking, okay, I'm different. And that's about as far back as I can remember. I'm born that way or chose to be that way, and we're gonna go a little bit of both, and here's why. I've always been this way. It's not something that I'm a product of my environment or whatever. I've always been this way. Again, I've tried to convince myself otherwise, but I knew. So I firmly believe that you're born this way. So parents, you didn't do anything wrong. If your kid comes out to be gay, it's not your fault, so do not put it on them, and it's not theirs either. The only thing that we choose to do is choose to accept it. Otherwise, that's why there's so many suicides, is because people won't choose to accept it. It's so hard, and we can help them. All of us, you know, quit being jerks. Honestly, accept people for who they are. It's their life, not yours. You have no choice in how they live their life, but you do have a choice on helping them enjoy their life and being a part of it, because guess what? We are way more complex than one little tiny label. And faith, Christianity, religion, yes, I consider myself a Christian, and that's important because of this really big religious debate about it. This was what kicked me over the edge of yes or no. People tell you pray about it, and for those of you who are religious, you'll understand. You know, when you need help, guidance, when you don't know where to go, you pray about it. And it's crazy because they always say pray about it and you'll get your answers. Well, the thing that everybody needs to realize, and I really, really wanted to stress this, is you get your answers, not the person telling you's opinions. I got my answer. It took many, I don't remember how many nights and months or time. I don't remember. It was just a long time. And one night I got my answers, and those answers were to be me, to continue to help people. That was part of it, was to help people and give back. So I've really made that a point in my life to give back to others, because if you are a good person, then you are a good person. It's pretty much it. We each have our own spiritual belief or non-belief, whatever those people are. And personally, I am a Christian, and yes, I am a gay male. Regrets. Do I have any regrets? That's a huge thing. Do I have any regrets at all? No, I don't. I make good choices. My parents raised me right. I guess really live lives without regrets. Just make good choices. That's really important. Don't be stupid. Don't think you don't have friends, and really be smart about things. It's really, really important to know that I'm happy about when I did. I'm happy with who I am today. Stereotypes are my favorite. This is my absolute favorite point of this whole deal, is gay stereotypes. Wait, I'm wearing a racing t-shirt. I wear my hat backwards. Oh, what's this? It's a sports hat. Yeah, I kind of like sports a lot. Not just a little bit, a lot. I'm a huge Saints fan. I love the Tampa Bay Rays. I have a favorite team in every sport, you name it. I can tell you way more statistics about any sport than you can ever dream of. I announced at a racetrack. I was the 2004 Rookie of the Year at Aztec Speedway in stock cars. I could go on and on. I don't fit that stereotype, and that's okay. Just because you're gay does not mean you like rainbows, because I hate rainbows. It's just not me. Just because you're gay does not mean you like fairies and run around in your underwear and, well, okay, whatever. Underwear, it's not a big deal. People so much over dramatize everything. Do I like techno? Not really. Do I like country? Because, oh, gay guys don't like country, right? Yeah, big time country. Favorite concert was Garth Brooks way back in the day. Not all guys are feminine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just who they are. You know, it's like not liking someone because they have short hair. Well, who cares? You know, it's their choice to live their life the way they are. And most importantly, your advice. Do I have any advice for anyone out there who might be in a situation I may have been in or am in? Be honest with yourself first. You don't have all the answers, and you probably never will. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with those closest to you. Be careful. There are people out there that'll hurt you, but guess what? Gay or not, they can hurt you, because usually they don't take the time to find out who you are. Come out when you're ready. There are resources out there for all of us. Comment below if you have any comments or questions. I'd be happy to answer them. I'll put together most of the top questions, and I'll answer them in a later video, of course. And so, like, subscribe. Thank you for tuning in to my first video, and I will see you all later.